Now, YNW Melly tried to take out his own mother? At least according to a witness in his case. So we got another YNW Melly update that I want to go through with you. With that being said, let's talk about it. Now, YNW Melly. Different pieces of information keeps coming out in this YNW Melly case right here. The trial still hasn't officially kicked off. The last time we heard any updates about the trial was in April, and according to reports, at that point, they were in a jury selection stage. The trial is right around the corner though, and I'm sure the man himself, YNW Melly, can't wait for that to happen. He's been behind bars for the last 3 years waiting for his trial to kick off, so that's why I'm saying that. Now, that aside, let's talk about this new info that came out the other day. Like I said in the intro, I wasn't making that up by the way. YNW Melly was actually accused by a witness of authorizing a hit on his own mother. So just to clarify, a witness in this YNW Melly case is claiming that Melly put a hit on his mother. And by the way, this witness is a detective by the name of Danny Polo. So these court documents that surfaced are actually from April this year. It involves Detective Danny Polo, who's a witness in this Melly case. And as far as these documents and exactly what it is, these documents are from a deposition that was conducted with Detective Danny Polo. What a deposition is, for anyone who doesn't know, by the way, it's a testimony someone who might be involved in a case gives outside the courtroom. So the witness in question gets questioned under oath about what they know as it relates to the case. So to simplify it, imagine a testimony outside the courtroom, and again, it is under oath. So if you end up capping, well, you might just get hit with this thing called perjury. Moving on, I want to go through these documents accusing Melly of putting a hit on his mother with you. Let's read it. This is the transcript from the deposition itself, by the way. It was conducted by a Christine Bradley and another person who I believe is an attorney, but anyway, she says this. I guess the better question is if anything has changed from your prior deposition. The witness, Danny Polo, responds by saying, I have not found anything to go against this. He then continues by saying, if I had found anything to go against it, I would state it, such as his original gang name, right? What they were called early on, what they were calling themselves early on, the 40th Avenue Army Gang. That's something I learned between the last deposition and this one, and I've stated it at this point. It doesn't change anything because they were still repping blood. So after this, the witness gets asked, has, in your opinion, Melly authorized any communication for the commission of a crime? And this is what he responds with. Yes, if you read his phone, there's narcotics trafficking, firearms violations, authorizing the killing of his mother. Those are things that you would consider authorizing. And then after this, they ask him, is there physical evidence to identify him as a criminal gang member? The witness answers by saying his phone, social media accounts, songs, YouTube. So like you heard, the witness in his case, the detective, explicitly stated that YNW Melly authorized a hit to be carried out against his own mother. This is some pretty crazy stuff right here, man. I can't even lie. It did have a lot of people shook because why would you put a hit on your own mother? On top of that, you're accused of allegedly taking out both of your best friends and staging the crime scene like a drive-by shooting. Are you telling me that on top of that alleged double homicide, you also try to take out your own mother? Both YNW Melly and his mother actually ended up responding to this piece of info getting released. Melly put up this Instagram story by saying, lies, false agenda, innocent, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. His mother put up an Instagram story by saying, this is pure desperation, laughing emoji, cap. I'm gonna be honest, man, there's a lot of stuff in this YNW Melly case that doesn't add up, this being one of them. However, there's actually some relevant intel that I want to bring up in relation to this, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the prosecution already know about this. What I'm talking about is the public beef Melly had with his mother. I want to emphasize public, by the way, because I don't go digging behind the scenes trying to expose anything. This is an incident that went on publicly, so let's talk about it. Sometime back in April, Melly had a slight fallout with his mother. It all stemmed from Melly's mother calling out his manager, Jameson Francois, also known as Track. Track got accused by Melly's mother of swindling money from his younger brother. You guys might recognize the name and the face. He goes by the name of YNB Slime. So Melly's manager gets accused of stealing money from YNB Slime. That led to YNW Melly responding to his mother. He publicly addressed her on a phone call from behind bars, essentially saying that she was tripping.
Bruh, my mama be lying. My mama got anxiety issues. Her ass tripping, bruh. You know what I'm saying? She feels some type of way because she feel like my brother's supposed to be bigger or whatever, bruh. Nobody fucking my brother on no money. If Track fucking my brother on money, that mean I'm fucking my brother on money, and I never do that to my little brother, bruh. We split the same percentage on my little brother shit. That don't make no sense, bruh.
Now, I don't think this incident involving Melly and his mother would validate the allegations/claims that he authorized a hit on her, but maybe that's the exact angle the prosecution is trying to take here, since they did, after all, call this witness in who gave this specific testimony alleging that Melly greenlit a hit against his mother. Now, if they really do have evidence that he authorized a hit on her, I don't think this back and forth between him and his mother matters because they got evidence. It wouldn't really matter at that point. But I do think there's a possible connection here that they're gonna try to make, at least in court, something along the lines of Melly and his mother had these unresolved issues because of this, and that's why he authorized a hit against her. One thing a lot of people were saying after this news broke was, how can this be true? Whatever this witness is saying, it's all cap. I'll be honest, man, I don't think these claims are completely baseless, because how could they? Not saying it's true because I wouldn't know, and plus this is all allegedly. What I'm saying is I think there's more to the story. On top of that, the witness in question is, after all, a detective, and on top of that, he's under oath. So the likelihood that he's completely making this up, I think, is very low. With that being said, it ain't like the law plays by the book all the time, and I'm saying that just to be fair to Melly. He still hasn't been convicted, so innocent until proven guilty. Let's also keep in mind that the trial hasn't started, so ain't no telling if these claims are groundless. Another thing we gotta keep in mind, this could be an attempt from the prosecution to try to turn the people closest to him against Melly. Wouldn't be the first time they've done that in this case. I most recently talked about how the prosecution in this YNW Melly case tried calling in Fredo Bang as a witness to answer some questions about the Melly case. They offered Fredo Bang immunity from getting prosecuted if he had complied. Like you already know, if you saw my video about it, Fredo ended up declining, so that failed. I really don't know what to make of these allegations though. As crazy as it sounds, this is probably the last thing Melly's probably worried about. I mean, the man is being pointed out as the trigger man in a double homicide, so I think that's where all of his attention is going. This testimony from the witness could be baseless or have some truth to it. Whichever one it is, I guess time will tell. But yeah, on top of facing this double homicide, YNW Melly is also now facing allegations that he allegedly authorized a hit against his mother. Any thoughts on it? Crazy news, and like I said, I don't know what to make of this. Anyway, my take on this aside, do you guys have any thoughts on this YNW Melly update? The trial is right around the corner, so I'll make sure I keep you guys updated. With that being said, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Like this video, like this video, like this video. Let's subscribe about this.